I saw a thing one time. There was what was that documentary on that heavy metal band that just they came to L.A. like the week before Nirvana's album came out. Nevermind, that just as the legend goes, that was the album that destroyed the whole thing, rather than 50,000 bands all singing the same fucking song. So that failed, and then they moved back to like Indiana or wherever the fuck they were from, and hair metal still survived another 3 years. Then they tried to get into grunge and all this shit, and then they were just old, and they never really made it. And they made this documentary, and at one point towards the end, the biggest lesson in all of it, one of the members said, he goes, what I've learned, he goes, you're better to have 100% ownership and just sell 20,000 copies than you are to have no ownership and sell like 20 million copies. You'll actually make more money if you own it. That's how bad they fucking rip you off. They rip, all of that shit, all the way back to the blues guys and all that, every fucking artist, that's what happened. So it's
then
nice.
also like those 80s videos with the goofy, with the hot chick in it, and they were, dancing around on stage doing whatever. Those videos were like $500,000 to $1 million, the budgets on those. So that came right off the top of any money they sold.
Oh yeah.
The record company put that money up. So just to make a good, and it was the same video. It was the guys performing on stage, and it was a hot chick, and he was
starts
chasing
out
her.
in black and white.
Black.
And then when the rest of the band kicks in, all of a sudden it was in color.
Yep. Or if it was the ballad, they looked tired, Yeah. It was Bon Jovi on the bus. He looked tired because he was looking out the window and driving.
Now, who was the first? Bon Jovi, because you also do that metal show. So that was about 86 when that album came out. And that video was maybe 87?
Somewhere around there. I think New Jersey was his big record. Came out like 84, 85.
I thought Slippery When Wet. How old was he?
Well, Slippery When Wet was probably, I think, 84.
No, that was like 85, 86.
Okay, yeah, somewhere around there. And then New Jersey came out after that. But Slippery When Wet is You Give Love a Bad Name,
yes.
Wanted Dead or Alive.
All of that shit. But I'm saying, did they start the I'm Tired on the Tour bus?
No, Journey did. Remember Journey with Steve Perry had that bad mustache and Faithfully?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember he had the mustache? Yeah, that started the original I'm tired, I'm on tour, and I'm exhausted.
What about when he was at that San Francisco Giant game, they started playing the Journey song, and all he had to do was smile and wave, and then he acted like someone who was just a fan of the band rather than the guy singing it, and he just went over the fucking top with it. And I just felt like it was a moment that, I don't know if he's not selling tickets or whatever, it's like he should have just played that cool, and he tried to be too regular, and then everybody just eviscerated him on the fucking internet. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, because I've seen him at Giant. I'm a big Giant fan, so I'll go out there, and I've seen him at games. He goes to like every game with his kids. He can't hit those notes anymore, so he knows I'm just laying low. Let the Asian guy take over and do it. He's just collecting the royalties off of
there you go.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to do any of that stuff. He doesn't care. Yeah, he could have been back in Journey 10 years ago, but he's just like, I'm not going to embarrass myself.
That's a smart move. So I'll just do it once at a baseball game.
Yeah, like Robert Plant. Robert Plant knows he ain't hitting those. He knows he's not going to hit those notes.
They tuned down. He sounded great in 2007.
I know he sounded amazing. You know what? They got offered $14 million for two-hour shows for that thing in the desert. What was the thing? A couple months ago. Yeah. They got $14 million for two-hour shows, and Robert Plant turned it to everybody else in Zeppelin's like, of course, and he said no.
Yeah, I think he bought a bunch of apartment buildings is what he did, so he's making all this fucking money. That's what I heard. Yeah, I heard he's a really good businessman.
But why can't he just come out and go, look, this isn't going to be like 1976. I'm not going to be able to hit all the notes, but I'm going to go hang with my friends. We're going to jam, have a good time, and don't expect much. If you throw that...
I have to be honest with you. I think he's protecting the legacy of the band by not doing it. I mean, I think they did that last one. I don't think they could do it better than they did it in 07. And he's always said, if you're just, if this is just a money grab, been there, done that, what does he say? I'm just an old hippie, blah, blah, blah. Like, he just doesn't see the reason to do it. Now, what I would do if I was the rest of them, I'd get Jason Bonham on drums, John Paul Jones, and Jimmy Page, and I would do what Journey did, and who gives a fuck?
Well, they tried to do that after first of all, Page and Plant don't get along at all. Like when they were rehearsing for that 2007 show, Jason Bonham told the story on that metal show when he was on, they were at each other's throats, Page and Plant. They just don't like each other. I think it's more a Plant, So after that, they were hoping they were going to do a reunion, and Plant said once again, nope, I'm not doing it. So they actually auditioned Steven Tyler, Sammy Hagar.
Oh, that's right.
And Miles Kennedy had the gig. Miles is from Alter Bridge and Slash's solo singer. He had the gig, and they were ready to do it, and then they just said, you know what, let's just put it to the side. We can't do that. we're not going to sell this as Led Zeppelin.
Oh my God.
So it was called, but Miles Kennedy out of nowhere got that gig. But Steven Tyler.
Am I hearing something in my headphones?
Yeah, it's the alarm over there.
Oh, it's the alarm.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned about the alarm?
Keep going. I got it.
Is it a fire?
No. I'll run out there right now.
How do you know what it is?
It happens all the time.
Oh.
There's a door right here.
Oh. One of these times it's going to be an actual fire.
It's like when you're in a club and you're hitting on a hot chick and you hear the alarm go, you're like, I don't give a shit, I ain't leaving. If I leave it, there's 9 guys ready to take my spot. So I don't. If there's a fire,
well, you know,
I'll
one of
deal
those
with it.
9 just pulled it too.
Absolutely, to get me away from her. So I understand Plant's thing where he doesn't want to do it. He's like, I don't want to do it for the money. The guy's probably worth $300 million. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't need to do it at this point. You just wish as a fan, maybe just a few shows.
Yeah, because you know what I like when Jason played in 2007, I thought he was finally himself, where he was like, he didn't feel like he had to do what his dad did, but he was he threw in so much shit. A lot of it was some of the stuff that his dad did live, but like his personality was on it. I thought he really fucking owned it on that one. So I was kind of psyched to see them go around. It's probably better. It's probably better that they don't do it because, you know, it didn't work well. I remember that Live Aid when they had the 2 fucking drummers and shit, and that was only 5 years after they had played. But I heard Page was so fucking upset that he didn't play guitar for a while after Bonham died, like to the point he had to try to like remember how to fucking play.
That's right, because then the story was Paul Rogers came over one day and was just hanging like 3-4 years later and said, hey, dude, you can pick up the guitar. Let's see if we can write some songs. And they started the firm after that.
Yeah, so why doesn't he just fucking... Why don't they just come up with a new name and just still do Zeppelin shit, play some firm stuff? The fucking Jimmy Page project with John Paul Jones and fucking... I
know what Jason... Well, remember when Page was so pissed off at Robert Plant that he got David Coverdale and did the Coverdale Page? They did one album because Coverdale...
Chris Robinson, they went out with him?
Yeah, Robert Plant hated David Coverdale because he thought he was a Led Zeppelin, you know, just a Robert Plant clone. He looked like him, sounded like him. Mm-hmm. And then Page goes, I'm going to get your arch enemy and we're going to start our own band. What do you think of that?
Well, yeah, I think that'll do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it definitely didn't help. You get
the guy 10 years younger that can still hit the fucking notes.
Well, Van Halen pulled it off because remember Sammy and Dave did that tour, the Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth tour together. They hated each other because the Van Halens weren't talking to either. And then right after that tour, they got back with Sammy. So I guess Van Halen's like, what are they? They're selling out arenas. We should be doing this. And they put Sammy back in the band.
Sammy's back in the band now?
No, this was a while ago. But Sammy and Dave, because the Van Halen brothers were just blowing them off, they go, okay, the 2 old singers of Van Halen, let's do a tour together. And they did a tour, and they hated each other that whole tour.
Sammy and Dave hated each other?
Yeah, they hated each other since day one, but they just did it for the tour, and they were supposed to like rotate headlining every night, and Sammy was trying to blow him off the stage, and then Dave was, and it was all the egos and all the shit, so...
I would think Sammy would win, though. Did he win?
Probably, but Dave was still a voice of Van Halen. I'd rather hear, you know, Out of Love Again and, you know, Mean Street than Is This Love?
Yeah, I always thought Sammy Hagar, when you look at his... I was just talking about this on my last podcast. This is such like fucking white guys in their 40s talk here.
I know.
I always thought he shouldn't have fucking joined the band. There was no upside where it was like, you're not going to follow Dave. You're not going to be like... it's just one of those things. Like, why would you go there? It was like Steve Young going after fucking Joe Montana. No matter what the fuck he did, he was always going to be not Joe Montana. And even though I won one, get the monkey off my back or whatever, I thought he should have just stayed with his own fucking band. I mean, the guy was incredible voice, live, and all that. I like the direction of his solo shit. Before that, Is This Love? And they're the keyboards, and they were all walking around in the fucking flesh-colored Flashdance suits, whatever the hell they were wearing.
Yeah. You know, he had a great solo career before he joined. I know he really didn't have to. I don't think he really thought it was going to take off. I don't know. They just said, let's start jamming. And then, but Van Halen actually got bigger at that point. They sold more records with Sammy. Oh, but that was the MTV days, more like Dave was like the last of the, you know, Panama and Jump and stuff like that. But then when Van Halen, like 86 is when they put their first one out with Sammy, they had all the videos and stuff like that. So they sold a lot more records than Dave.
All right, let's try to bring this back into like this century. So
yeah.
People
Feeling good, people? Come on! Come on! Give this a go. Women
I saw what's his face last night? Jesus Christ, I'm getting so old. I just spaced on his fucking name. The guy from Black Flag. Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins.
Jesus.
Oh, he's doing his spoken word thing?
I got to stop fucking talking on myself. I got to get one of those headpieces because I really think it's fucking with my memory. Henry Rollins, right? I fucking want to see that guy. Dude, that dude, he does like 2.5 hours. And it's just like, he's like, it's fucking unbelievable.
And he's intense, right? The whole 2.5 hours.
The whole fucking time. It was funny. DeRosa goes, I was with DeRosa. I'm like, this fucking guy. Dude, he comes out. It's like when they go, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Henry Rollins. They barely get the S of Rollins, and he's fucking out there, right? And he comes walking out, and he does this bow, and his fists are clenched, and then he takes the mic out of the mic stand, and then he starts wrapping the cord around his fucking hand. It was the guy was fucking amazing. And I made DeRosa laugh my ass off because we were watching the guys go, Jesus Christ, the guys go fucking intense. And he goes like, yeah, dude, and he's stone sober. I was like, Joe, I got to tell you something. I don't think I've ever seen a guy who needs a drink more than this guy. This fucking, like...
And he doesn't take any water. Like, he doesn't take a break. I heard, like, he won't even reach for water during his set.
I'm telling you, dude, it was like...
Just full on for 2 minutes.
Yeah. It was like... I'm trying to think of a band. Yeah, I guess it would be like if you never heard of AC/DC, you know, they don't play any ballads.
Yeah.
And if there was no talking between songs, and it was all whole lot of Rosie.
Right.
Back and back.
Or even like Rage Against the Machine, who doesn't talk when they would just, I've been to a million of those shows, and it's just pure, no, they don't talk, and they just go one song to another, to another, to another.
Now, that's another band that their singer won't do it. Right?
No.
He won't do it. There's so many of those fucking bands.
There's millions and millions of dollars on the table for them to do, like festivals over in Europe where 80,000 people and do a tour to states, and the guy just won't do it.
Well, this is the thing. If you're in a band, okay, and you start seeing your lead singer like reading a real estate book or something on business, you got to burn that fucking thing because he's going to invest his money wisely, and then he's not going to need to do it, and then you're going to be fucked. I just can't imagine like... First of all, I can't imagine the pressure of the lead singer where it's like, what if the drummer fucked up and doesn't have money, and it's just like you could just go do a fucking tour just to help him out. You got the pressure of him going, come on, man, I'm going to lose my fucking house here, man. And he'd be like, dude, in the 90s, we made enough money, you never shut at work again. Well, I was bad with money.
Yeah, well, that's...
Can you just do 3 gigs?
That's the thing, which supposedly with Journey, they all invested their money. And that's why Stephen Perry has a lot of money. They were like the first rock band that really like put their money away and had good financial planning and stuff. So they didn't have to do that. They didn't do anything for a while until they got, the Asian singer. They had another guy in there before, but they didn't have to do it. But yeah, a lot of bands but this guy in Rage Against the Machine, they have a band meeting once a year. He doesn't even have a cell phone. They have to like call somebody to call somebody. It's almost like when they were, like trying to find Bin Laden. He shows up, they talk about Rage Against the Machine, you want to put this remaster out, whatever. Yeah, okay, they hang for a couple hours, and then he goes, all right, I'll see you guys, and then you don't see him for a year. Wow. And they're like, look, there's about 80 million on the table if we do about 50 dates. Nah, I'm good. I'm all right.
Jesus. Well,
supposedly the rumor with Guns N' Roses, they got back together. Slash going through a divorce. I don't even know if it's final yet, but he had no prenup, married for 20 years in L.A. with 2 kids. He was going to lose more than 50% of his money. And supposedly the cut is Axl gets 50, Slash gets 25, and Duff gets 25. And Slash will pay his other guys in the band. He's still got Richie Fortus, he's got his drummer and all that, and Dizzy Reed keyboard. And that comes out of Axl's money. But supposedly what I heard is Duff is giving some of his money to Slash because Duff's made so many good investments, has so much money that he's like, dude, you're going to need it because he's trying to pay this divorce off or whatever. The money's going to have to pay it. Duff's actually giving Slash some of the money. And that's one of the main reasons they got back together. Well, Axl never liked Slash's wife. So as soon as they got married 20 years ago, whatever, everything fell apart. As soon as they broke up, they started talking again. And they got the band back together. But supposedly Duff is giving a cut to Slash to help him out.
Jesus Christ.
20 years.
California's a motherfucker.
20 years, no prenup, 2 kids.
How does it work? Like if you got married in California, but then you move to Washington, and then if it falls apart there, do you then go by the laws of the state that you got married in or the state you're in there?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. Did you see what happened to the beautiful woman there on you know, the two gay guys, the guy Al Bundy from Married with Children. What the fuck's the name of that show? Alternative Lifestyles.
Modern
Family.
Modern Family.
Yeah, that fucking show. Did you see what she's going through?
No.
She was with some guy, and they were going to do that fucking in vitro. So I don't know what he's.
And he's suing for the embryos or something like that.
Yeah, he named him. Dude, if that was my son, I'd be like, you fucking piece of shit. Get a fucking job.
I know.
Get a fucking job. Dude, that is the cuntiest, bitchiest fucking thing I've seen somebody do in a long fucking thing. He named the embryos.
Yeah.
They're like people to me. You fucking piece of shit.
You think if it was a waitress from Hooters, would he be doing this? No, he just knows she has money. And
he wants child support.
He wants child support.
That happened to some. My wife was telling me that happened to some other woman. Same fucking thing. It's like, dude, that is just like.
Yeah, that woman from The View, the black chick from The View that quit.
What's her name?
Star Jones, was it? She had a baby with this dude or whatever like that.
I thought Star Jones was the one who fucking got her stomach stapled and then was like, nah, I just been doing cardio, eating grapefruit.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
Oh, so she's had a number of.
But
and the other chick, who was the other one? Rosie O'Donnell then called her out. Was like, no, you ain't. You fucking got it.
Yeah.
You got it stapled. You know what's amazing? Rex Ryan's getting fat again. Like, how you fucking push that band right off?
He said that his brother, ever since his brother got in town, they just go out and they can't stop eating. That was his excuse when he hired his brother after.
You know, it's funny. Like, yeah, if you move to Buffalo, you're in trouble. Dude.
Yeah, there's no healthy place to eat.
Yeah, and they got is it Duffy's? Duffy's in the Anchor Bar, and the two places that claim that they invented the wings.
Yeah.
There's those two. If he goes to Minnesota, and they got those Juicy Lucy's, you know, the burgers where you put the fucking cheese in the middle of it. There's a lot of tough cities. New York, you could actually eat healthy, though. You know, he has to, Rex Ryan, if he's going to stay skinny, needs to coach a team in, like, self-involved cities only.
Yeah, like if he was the LA Rams coach.
The Rams, yeah. Rams, Giants, and Jets, he'd be good.
San Diego,
that's he'd meet some, That might fuck up his marriage, though. There's so many beautiful, cool chicks down there. You might have a fucking problem, you know?
Yeah.
They're all walking around in sandals. He's into feet, you know? You walking around with no shirt on and shit, you know?